All right, so a couple of updates here. I've been working on trying to get my inventory system. Kind of needed an overhaul. At least how it was working needed to be updated. Visually, it's working the same as you can see. I still got all my items down here that I can pick up, and I can still pick up items and all that. So visually, it hasn't changed much. UI pause menu still is working as it should for the most part. The main issue I was having, and I'll show you the code here. Let me just go to, if I can find it, my enums. I have an inventory type here. This was actually just inventory location before, I believe. I updated this to be inventory type. Oh, as you can see, actually, I still have it here. This is what I was using before. So, and this enum is what was keeping track of all my inventories. So I would reference this inventory location in my inventory manager whenever I wanted to reference an inventory, and it was referencing the enum as the inventory, which was working fine. If I wanted to have, a different type of inventory in here, I would just, create a new inventory, and my inventory manager took care of it and would create the inventory. The issue is that this doesn't allow for dynamically creating inventories. I have to know ahead of time the preset number of inventories I'm going to need. So as you can see, like the way this is working currently, I know the player inventory is going to be there, and then I know the player is going to have a chest inventory that he can interact with. But my game needs to be able to have the player is going to be able to have multiple chests inventories, and I'm not aware as a developer how many there's going to be. It's up to the player to decide. They could create 5 chests, they could create 10 chests, like any number of chests that they could create. I have to account for that, and this method was not allowing me to do that. So I kind of scrapped that idea, and instead what is happening now is if I go to my player game object here, you'll see he actually has an inventory script on him, which is going to store it stores the inventory type that it is. So it's the player inventory, obviously, and a list of all the inventory items currently there with the item code. So that would be referencing this basic axe here, and then the quantity. So as you can see, this is what 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this animal feed here has 2. So if I went to the 5th element, you can see there's 2 there. So it's keeping track of the player's inventories, items anyways, and it's having each object that is going to be created, essentially. So when a chest gets created and placed in the map, it gets initialized with this inventory script on it. It would obviously be chest, but it allows me to dynamically, have the script for storing the chest inventories more dynamic, so that I might not know how many are being created, but I know that this logic in the inventory script here is going to be applied. So, and then obviously just a lot of the functionality from my inventory manager, I took it out of the inventory manager and put it into the inventory script. So the inventory now is doing a lot of things itself, such as it adding an item to the inventory, updating its capacity if that can change, because obviously the player's inventory could get larger. But this way should work with the player making chests. One other thing that I updated with this is I was using Unity's old input manager system, so that's what I was doing before, and it was causing my player script to get extremely messy because I was having to create functions for the mouse and keyboard versus the player versus the Xbox or controller version. So I was literally needing like multiple functions, and it was basically double the size that it is now. And I mean, it already is kind of big, so I needed to go ahead and upgrade to the new input system, which basically just allows me to have one. I can map multiple inputs to a function in the player script now, so that way I can, if the player presses the the click button on the keyboard, it'll fire off the same function that a player pressing the trigger button or whatever the action button would be on the controller. It'll fire off the same function, and that way I'm not having to worry about creating multiple versions of the function for specific inputs. So that is very helpful. Again, a lot of the changes I've made are not visual, so I can't really show much here. Unfortunately, just the fact that it's working, it means that it's doing what it's supposed to, because I changed a lot of stuff and things with the inventory are still functional, so that is good. Next, I'm probably going to go ahead and try and get the chest created and see how that works with the player. Maybe get it to where he can swap locations. Hopefully that will work. And I'll release another update video once that's done. Thanks.